everyone, this is Julie from Millerside Therapy and Coaching. I'm going to be doing another Unstoppable live today, and today I'm going to be joined by a lovely friend of mine called Beverley. So I'm going to see if we can find Beverley and bring her up onto the stage. So while we're waiting for her to join, I met Beverley at our business training. She's another female entrepreneur. And Beverley, she loves horses. She works with horses and she helps to rehabilitate them. She has various different tools and techniques that she does to do that, which we'll talk about with her later.
Hello.
There she is. Started to get a bit worried then.
Sorry.
She's not going to make it.
Yeah.
Hello. How you doing, Beverley?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I was just telling everybody that, well, I only got as far as telling them that you work with horses and rehabilitate them, and that we met in our business training. You're a lovely, wonderful female entrepreneur in the prime of her life, like my good self. So, Beverley, do you want to just tell everybody who you are and what it is you do, please?
Okay, so I'm Beverley Shatliff and I'm an equine rehabilitation specialist. So I look after horses and transform them back to their health using natural therapies.
Oh, wow. And is that something that you've always done?
No, but I've always had a passion for horses and health and well-being. So the two go together for me.
Oh, wow.
I love horses, so.
Oh, brilliant. So what I'm going to do, Beverley, is I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. We may not, it'll just flow as it flows. But one of my first questions, really, as another woman like myself in the prime of your life, in our 50s, even though we're amazing and gorgeous, obviously.
Absolutely.
So as a woman, Beverley, in the prime of your life, what would you say has been one of your biggest struggles or challenges?
Gosh, a few things really. Lack of direction, anxiety, fear, wanting more but not knowing how to get it. Various things like becoming overweight and not having a clear head. So many things. I used to be so good at things like car parking spaces. I could go to a car park, know where my car was when I came back out. And then I went through a stage of not knowing where my car was and be like, what on earth is going on here?
Wow.
That was really alien to me. I didn't like that because I've never been like that before.
And how old would you say you was when you started to feel all those changes?
Probably about 48.
Mm.
Yeah.
And was you aware at the time, Beverley, that there was such a thing as like the perimenopause? Or was it more of like, oh my God, what's the matter with me?
No, I knew about it, but obviously never having been through it, I didn't know what the effects were. People would talk about it and you'd be like, right, okay. But when it actually hit me at first, I didn't realise that was what was wrong with me. Even though, I just thought, what is wrong with me? My memory's going, this is going. I thought it was an age thing, but the more I looked into it, then I realised, okay, it must be that.
And when you started to feel like that forgetfulness, that overwhelming feeling and like losing your car and things like that, how did that really make you feel? In your sort of mid to late 40s, what did that do to you? How did that make you feel?
Frustrated, upset. Sometimes I'd get upset and think, what's wrong? What's going on? Just all sorts of different things that I wasn't used to.
Yeah, and that was the same for me as well. It was only when I started setting up my business and doing the research around it, it was like, oh, right, that's this whole list of symptoms. I didn't realise I had all those, or many of those, because you hear about the hot sweats, don't you? And that's about it to start with. And you don't necessarily hear about, the anxiety, the increased anxiety and overwhelm and everything that goes with it. And I think that's what's so debilitating, isn't it? Because I felt like there was something wrong with me. You start thinking, oh, you've got some form of dementia. And
it was actually family that were pointing things out to me, and I kept thinking, what are you talking about? What are they going on about? Oh, you're this and you're being like that. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah. And then it's like the angriness, isn't it? Like I was always so angry and like fly off the handle. And
Yeah.
I've just noticed my gorgeous son Josh has just joined us. He could probably be testament to that. But I
Yeah.
think I'm a lot calmer now. So how did you, once you started to get a feel for it and understand it a little bit, what did you do to help you overcome it?
So I'm being a natural therapist. I've gone down the natural route. So I started taking sage. I started doing more exercise. I started doing cold water swimming. Started changing my lifestyle basically.
Oh wow, amazing.
Because I wanted to do everything possible that I could do to help me. But there was also other stuff from my past that was coming up as well. So I decided to go for therapy and put that in the mix
Amazing.
a few years ago. And I have to say, well, actually, I started that in 2020. And I have to say that was the catalyst for my life change now to get me to where I am now. And it has been an amazing journey. And without that, I don't think I'd be where I am now. I think I'd still be quite muddled. And because that kind of helped unmuddle everything.
Amazing.
It's like
And that's
years.
Carry on.
Sorry. It's like I dealt with it for years and then you couldn't move on until it was dealt with. And so I sought therapy for that.
Amazing. And that's where I find that with my clients as well. It's physical conditions as well that can be impacted by it, but definitely the psychological side. So definitely the increased overwhelm, the increased, and that causes stress. Well, if you're really, really stressed anyway, that creates that fuzzy feeling in your head, doesn't it? And that feeling of overwhelm because your brain can't cope. You know, we only use 5% of our conscious brain. The rest of it's all in our subconscious.
Yeah.
So if you imagine that you've got this little section of your brain that's just full of all this stress and overwhelm, oh my God, you know, how are you going to think? How are you going to remember where you parked your car, for example? Because your mind's going, ah! You know, so as soon as you can calm yourself down, then that's when you go, oh, I know where my car is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's doing that, maybe deep breathing or something just very quickly, just to sort of calm yourself down and change your state, isn't it? But I'm really pleased that you brought up about the therapy side though, because it is really important. And a very similar thing happened to me because a couple of years ago when I embarked on setting up my business, I had to go through that myself because you can't really go around trying to fix other people, for example, when you're completely messed up yourself, point number one. But it's unraveling those limiting beliefs that are holding you back, isn't it? And most of the time they do go back to your childhood, and we're living off our current day, reflecting, our brains going back to maybe when we was between the ages of 0 and 7 when we created our beliefs. And that's what's frightening, isn't it? That, you know, you're even anxiety, it's not normally to do with what's going on right now. It's fear of the future anyway, isn't it? But it's triggering back to your past. And that's where you're living your life off, back here rather than here. Is that what you kind of uncovered?
I think, to be honest, I think that has helped with the symptoms without a doubt, because that you've got to get rid of something to be able to deal with what's happening now. But you've also got to look after yourself as well and do the, you know, get as well as possible, because if you don't, you can't help anybody else either.
No.
So family members and stuff, you know, when they need you and you're like, your head's all over the show, I can't do anything because I'm too busy trying to deal with that. But now everything's a lot clearer. It's a lot easier. Yeah,
that's a brilliant point you make there, because it is that old saying, you know, if you don't look after yourself, how can you look after everybody else? You know, the airplane, put the mask on, etc. But that is so true, isn't it? And sometimes we do think we're being selfish by putting ourselves first, but we're not, are we? Because if we don't, like you said, we can't help anybody else. So that we're pretty much useless to ourselves and useless to everybody else, aren't we?
Yeah, I have to go. I do outdoor swimming. I have to do the swimming. I have to go to the gym. If I don't do all those things, I'm not right and I'm not happy. And then I'm just making it more difficult for other people as well. Be happy. So I'll do everything that I possibly can, health and well-being wise, to make sure that I can live the best life possible.
Yeah. And it's basically investing in you, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Whether that, is investing in any kind of therapy and coaching just to help you unravel and eradicate those limiting beliefs that are holding you back.
Yeah.
But also that coaching element where you don't necessarily know where you want to go. And once you've cleared off that message that's going on in your head and it's a little bit more focused,
Yeah.
then you can start thinking about where you want to go and what you want to do, can't you? And
Yeah.
that's how I very much work with my clients. I don't just go straight into the coaching element of it. Sorry, I want to go back and uncover their root beliefs first, eradicate them, and
Yeah.
then they're confident, then they're focused. They've lost that procrastination, and
Yeah.
and they can move forward. So, talking of moving forward, Beverley. So I know you started your business like a couple of years ago, didn't you? So do you want to just tell them a little bit how you ended up doing what you're doing?
So finding myself sat at my kitchen table after my corporate job, or whilst doing my corporate job, and just realizing that I didn't want to do that anymore, and that I wanted more, and that I wanted to be outdoors more, and I wanted to be with the animals more. And I started to try and find ways of how I could do that. So obviously there were quite a few restrictions at the time. So I used to take friends' dogs for a walk, and used to go to the stables when I could and volunteer, looking after the horses there. And it just progressed from there, really. I've been a Reiki practitioner for over 20 years.
Wow.
I decided to go into animal Reiki and become a Reiki master. And that's now where I've taken the business to in the equine world. And so I do Reiki on the horses. I've got TheraPlay. I do equine behaviour. And I am just so happy about it.
That's amazing.
And so, yeah.
So would you say you went from like living in your corporate life of not really having any purpose and passion to now running your own business and finding your true purpose and passion?
Yeah, since I started looking, and I've realised what I can do and where my passions actually are, and I can do something with that. Yeah, I've really come along a lot more now. I'm really happy about that, and I'm looking forward to the future of the business growing, obviously.
Amazing. And yeah, we've kind of got like a similar journey insofar as like a couple of years ago I was in a similar position. I was in the corporate world for 35 years. Wasn't my purpose and passion at all. And then I got made redundant in 2022. Sorry, in 2022 as well as and I wanted to do something that found my purpose and passion. And that's where I retrained and now do my therapy and coaching business. And now I'm helping like entrepreneurs like yourself and women, anyone out there really who wants to become unstoppable and live their life with purpose and passion, because life is too short, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And what would you say to someone who says, oh no, I'm too old to change?
Yeah, you're never too old. Just put one foot in front of the other and keep going, and just do what you want to do for you, and don't let anybody stop you doing it.
Yeah. Believe in yourself, isn't it? Believing that you deserve to live your life with purpose and passion.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the people around you are saying. And if, to be honest, if you're around too many negative people, then you need, where you can, to remove yourself anyway, don't you? And surround yourself by like-minded people, which is why we all love being in our coaching group, isn't it? Because we wouldn't have met through that. There's a massive group there, all got different skill sets where we can all help each other as well. But it's about having that collaboration and having that accountability. And just being around like people.
I couldn't have done half of what I've done without coaching. I've had a coach, and obviously I'm part of the coaching circle now, and I couldn't have be where I am in the business now if it wasn't for being part of coaching.
No, same here. So I think the message really to anyone out there who thinks they're too old, that's rubbish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone out there who thinks they can't do anything, that's equally rubbish. You might not be able to do it on your own, But that's fine. We couldn't do it on our own either. So we
Yeah.
both invested in our own personal development so that we could uncover our limiting beliefs that were holding us back. And then we also invested in coaches and mentors with our business, because like you, I wouldn't be where I am now in such a short space of time.
Yeah.
I've built my business on, you know, like a good foundation. And then I was able to quit my job in December last year so I could be all in on my business, so I can now serve more and more of you beautiful people out there to help you become unstoppable and live your life with purpose and passion. So it's gone so quick, Beverley, but I want to just tell everybody how they can reach you. We'll put it in the area in our when we post out anyway.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Beverley Shatliff, or you can find me on Facebook at Equine Rehabilitation Specialist.
Amazing. And I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Well, you know what we are on here, but I'll post that in. I've got a Facebook account, Millicide Therapy and Coaching, and website. So look, if any of you feel like you're ready for change and you're ready to start living your life with purpose and passion, then do get in contact with me. If you are interested in knowing more about what Beverley's doing, please go to and follow her. But go to both our sites and follow us, please, so that we can get some more traction and get some more people to know about what we're doing out there. I'm eternally grateful to Beverley because I've got a Great Dane, and she suggested doing all the Reiki and that on him, which we did start doing. So he's doing a lot better as well now. So he's like a mini horse. So it's fair. It's the same thing, right? But anyway, thank you all for coming to watch us. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll post a video out shortly. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, and we'll speak to you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.